Hello there. Welcome back to Good Vibes and Conversation. I'm your host, Felecia, and joining me today is my co-host, Brenda.
Hello, I'm back.
Today we'll be discussing a very crucial topic in our life, a topic about mental health. And joining us today is a special guest who is also our friend, who is also our study buddy when we are still in school. I'll let her introduce herself, and then we'll start the topic.
Hello guys, I'm Evelyne Mwangi, person in Counseling and Psychology. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, welcome. So we would like to talk about mental health. In the recent years, the understanding on mental health has revolved. It's revolving like very fast. So we'd like to talk about the disorders, mental anxieties, or all these illnesses. So how about we start with the disorders?
There are different type of mental disorders, and sometimes some of them are genetically, and others are naturally caused. Okay, we can start with anxiety disorder. This is the state where one is anxious, and you can notice anxiety from a person from how they present themselves, how like they are vile wana react. You can unaweza soma the body language, the vocal cords, and even how they're acting. Okay.
So let me ask a question. There are ways on helping a person going through these anxiety episodes, or when their anxiousness has gotten to the maximum. So could you tell us how we can help a person if they're going through these episodes?
Anxiety mostly occurs when one is anxious of maybe an examination, ama before an interview, a job interview. So what you can do to that person, you can a mini interview with that person. Nyinyi mjifanya you are the judges, and then the person to present themselves vile they'll present during the interview, and so that they may have a recap of some of the questions and how the environment during the interview will be. Yeah.
Okay, so there is this way, I saw it in a movie. I don't know if it was like correct. Okay, so there was this movie. I don't know if you've watched Teen Wolf. So there was this a guy who was going through this anxiety. Like you get anxious to the point where you're not able to breathe well. So it said that you have to distract the person away from whatever is making them anxious. So what they did was they kissed the person. So does that help, like trying to distract the person
yeah.
Yeah, it does help. You know, you're drifting the mind away from the current situation that person is going through. Unamsaidia at least to occupy the mind with something else. Maybe there's this hobby yenye anapenda, so you can help the person, like umwambie, hey, let's do this. Ama you just bring up a topic so that they may wachangie at least.
That's what she's saying. You also find that people who have that anxiety disorder, wengi wao hupata panic attacks.
Exactly.
Na sometimes most of them wanapatanga panic attacks kama hawako karibu na watu. Sasa in that situation, if someone is alone, what would you tell that person, ama urecommend ni nini anaweza fanya akijikuta ako peke yake na hizo atajisaidia aje?
Okay, the person unaweza mwambia try breathing in and out. It does help. Ama count 1 to 100 until ile time atasettle down.
Or even try counting backwards the numbers.
Exactly.
Whatever is making them anxious.
Or maybe even listen to your favorite song. Ile song yenye unajua ukisikiza here, at least it does cools you down. And with that inakusaidia to calm down. You know, sometimes songs they do soothe our souls, so you have to listen to that song, or maybe try and meditating. You can say a prayer, do some yoga or Zen, just anything to distract you from the current situation.
Kuna hii disorder, something tragic has happened to someone's life, PTSD. Okay, hiyo wengi wao, okay, kuna watu utaambia uko na PTSD, people deny it. A lot of people deny they have PTSD, but you're saying unaona huyu mtu ako na PTSD. How will you guide that person to like akue aware of this disorder, umweleze the things he or she is supposed to do? How will you like guide that person?
Sometimes you can notice with how they are reacting, their normal behavior, na sasa hii situation yenye wako, like how they are behaving. So you can tell this person, wewe, you do this and you do this, but now unafanya like vitu out of the blues. So just try and tell the person vile unafanya sahi sivyo vile unafanyanga. Mostly PTSD occurs to, okay, in other terms, PTSD is post-traumatic stress disorder. It does hit soldiers from war, especially the Vietnam War. Have you watched that movie, Vietnam? Soldiers from war, rape victims, or maybe somebody has gone through a traumatic situation,
like
and
losing
even
someone close.
yeah, exactly, and even women after giving birth. So just try and tell the person vile unafanya sahi si vile unafanyanga in your normal ways. Let that person have the will, muonyeshe, and so that inakuja with their will, and then they'll be like, oh yeah, nafanya hivi and yet sifanyangi hivi, and yet I just need help.
Most of the time utauliza huyo mtu uko sawa, atakwambia ako sawa. Na yet unaona you as that mumeishi na huyo mtu for a long time, unajua mtu hayuko sawa. How he's behaving right now is not how you will behave if you are in a normal position. Juu sasa akiwa na PTSD anakaa ako hayuko. He's doing things but at the same time he's like half-hearted. Nafanya hii only because nimeambiwa nifanye, not because I want to. Like anafeel ka vitu zinampush, but most of the time I would highly recommend kama unajua uko na mtu ako na PTSD, just talk to that person. If that person is willing to talk to you, just talk to him or her. Ask them what is wrong. Kama ako ready to open up, because a problem half shared is a problem
half solved. Sometimes PTSD is trigger yake, it could be anything, as long as the person aone the situation yenye inamkumbusha the previous situation. Majority of those people who suffer from PTSD they do suffer from insomnia, like hawalalangi usiku. Unapata huyo mtu is under sleeping pills, and yet those pills won't work because that person ile trauma bado haijamtoka. So sometimes the support system, could be the family, the friends, like the close, the inner circle. Iyo tu inaweza saidia that person. At least I open up, no problem, have shared this, have solved. They have first to open up and say what is disturbing them, and then you just be their rock. Umsaidie, umuonyeshe the way forward.
And also people have to, kuna hii stigma niko ati being like these illnesses, kuna hizo PTSD, there's ADHD, like ukiambiwa like I think ukiambiwa na family member or a friend, I think you have this and this, don't take it, usichukue ati unaniambia mimi ni cheesy. No, wewe si cheesy, we're trying to help you. PTSD si cheesy, it's trauma, actually going through something.
It's a disorder. Hatujasema umefika hiyo point yenye now we need to like keep you in a hospital. Already tushaona uko in the first phases of that PTSD, bado hujafika hiyo stage yenye hatuwezi kukusaidia anymore. So personally I will just say, if you are told you have uko na post traumatic stress disorder, just accept it. Ask that person how, especially if it's a doctor, medical counsel on the side of expertise. Kama ni daktari amekwambia hivyo, muulize ni sawa daktari, and then what's the go ahead? How should I cope with it? Am I supposed to be around people? Am I supposed to be around a certain age of people? Kuna wale watu wakiwa na stress they can do anything. Anything. Unaweza kuta tu hasira zake zimemshika, ameshikilia anything, any object, ashaanza kusumbua watu. Na inaweza lead mtu kuua mtu na hujui. And then after ndio unakaa chini una recall nimefanya nini. Already after umeshakaa chini uka recall, you have already done the deed. Always go back. So if you know someone out there is suffering from PTSD, just talk to that person. Ama kama unaona hataki kuongelesha, tell that person to seek medical guidance. It's better.
But sometimes how the society approach you, hiyo tu inaletanga shida. Like, unakujia mse with the bang, unamwambia bro, akili iko na shida. Yes, sikatai people with PTSD wanakwanga na borderline personality disorder. But you're not supposed to approach the person with like in a negative way. Msaidie tu aelewe, niko na PTSD. And then tuanze hapo. Kama ni medication, kama ni dialogue therapy, like inasaidia via a dialogue, at least we help the person aelewe, niko na hii, and sasa these are some of the steps zenye we'll take. Kuna
kitu nimesikia ukisema kuhusu pregnant women, they also have PTSD. And then there's another thing, women after they've given birth, there's postpartum depression.
True.
Why kuna some women hawapatangi, and kuna some women wataipata. Mbona? Mbona ikwangi like ati ni in general lazima like it's some of them. Why?
Some women hawakwangi like wamejiprepare psychologically time yetu imefika like inakupata tu pap, and that's when unapatanga they do suffer from this one postpartum depression. Yeah. Unapata even maziwa the lady is not even breastfeeding the child. Yani ako tu hata akumbuki ako na mtoto. Yeah,
and most people like think this is not, it's not real or it's not a serious issue. It is a serious issue. It kind of, do you imagine depression is a big deal.
Yeah, it is.
This woman might end up taking their life, leaving the kid behind,
yeah,
even like
hata anaweza end up kuua mtoto.
Yeah,
so point like I'm done like sijisikii juu utakuta kama for example mama amekaa tu mtoto amelia anataka kunyonyeshwa, anamwangalia tu ako tu
hana shughuli
masaa ya kulisha mtoto ako tu amekaa, and then utafind some people in marriages wako like the man doesn't know the woman has postpartum depression. So yana act kama everything is normal. That's why men out there, if you know your wife, married men or whoever, kujua tu mwanamke mwenye uko naye amebeba mimba after amezaa, ukiona kidogo ako sideways, just ask that woman, is she okay? The moment you learn it, you'll be able now to build up from there. Kuliko wache huyo mama hapo, it will end up in a very bad way. It's either she kills herself, it's either aache kuchunga mtoto wake ama akai tu.
She'll stop taking care of herself, doing anything for the child, anything. So naona ka inafaa ku normalize like
guidance after amezaa.
You create awareness.
There's these stages lazima utafanyia mtu juu. Honestly squeeze unaona tu mama amezaa kesho ametoka.
Exactly. But one thing bad about this society is they're not creating awareness ndo ujue. Like mtu anaona you are acting like that and anaona kama it's neglect. Some of this is not neglect. Kwanza depression, unajua it's the body inaanza kushut down itself. So unapata that person hata hygiene yake imepungua, like hashughuliki na what is going on. So wewe unamkemea because of being of neglecting their work, and yet that person is ill, that person needs medical attention.
And then sijui ni nini mbaya Kenyans sijui mbona mnasemanga like I think Kenyans don't believe in therapy.
They don't.
Kila time unaambianga go to therapy, those are for the rich. Who said so?
Ama sometimes therapy is for the bad, and I'm like,
sikatai therapy sometimes ni expensive, but it's needed. It's needed. Juu sasa kama au mama wako na postpartum depression, that woman needs to know, if I have this depression lazima nikue therapy. Juu huwezi niambia I am not okay and you expect me to look after my child.
Exactly.
Ni either sisi wote tukae hivyo ama si wote tuende therapy. So Kenyans achini hiyo the mentality of therapy ni the rich people, na hiyo mentality si poa.
But also the government wanafa at least they check on side ya cost, you know, because sometimes inakuletea shida, because unaangalianga the cost ya one therapy session, then you're like, am I supposed to pay that?
This, or ni rent,
ni stima, ni fees
nitalipa, ni bills I will pay,
ama ni therapy nitaenda. Mental health is very expensive.
It's very expensive.
But it is worth. It's worth.
They are very like, there's a very high suicide rate.
Especially right now. Exactly. Suicide iko high, femicide iko high, missing people iko imeenda to a high rate paka uko like where are they? The question of true. every day unaamka ukijiuliza wako wapi? But mind you unajiuliza haya wako, ukijiuliza hiyo swali unajiuliza familia zao ziko aje? So, you know, government do your part. Government fanyeni kazi yenu jamani. It's not every day we will have to wake up, women are crying, mothers are crying. Femicide
especially right now.
You girls out there, women take care, bujichunge mkiwa huko nje, ni kubaya. Ni kubaya.
But also the society does plays a major role in causing some of these effects. Sasa especially kwa teenagers, you know, it's a transition from childhood to puberty to adolescent to now adulthood. Iyo transition yote inakwanga na a lot of chaos. You as the parent, you're supposed to notice these behavioral changes kwa mtoto. You know, the teenage wanakwanga na a lot of overthinking and na anaangalia their physical appearance like anaona kuna some changes in my body. Alafu unapata like mzazi anapea the kids a lot of responsibilities. Let the child be a child. Wacha tu atulie kwanza, enjoy the childhood. And then from there tunaenda tu unamwambia we unafaa ufanye hivi, unafaa ufanye hivi. There's how the society expects you are the firstborn. Kuna vile unafaa react. Wacha tu mtoto
akuwe mtoto.
Yeah.
On that issue, kuna some parents you'll tell them watanote you're going through depression, then they'll be like, watoto wa siku hizi mayai. I'm like, what is wrong?
Yeah.
How I'm also human.
Exactly.
Haimaanishi ati jumini mtoto wa siku hizi sifai kuwa na depression. Who said so? Alafu ukienda daktari akiambia mzazi ati and then ati your daughter or your son is going through this, and then the parent is like, atapona tu, ako tu sawa.
Yeah, ako tu sawa.
Like this disorders quizzing
I'm like, what is wrong?
Like, you're making up at ADHD,
disorders.
you're making
And then
up.
I'm like, we are not in the atuko enzi za kitambo. We are in this era. So sikatai ni sawa, mimi ni mtoto wa siku hizi ni sawa, but then listen to me. Hear me. Hata kama umenote hizo, and then umenote hizo changes in me, I'm like, I'm moody. One time sisikii kuongea, the other time unanipea chakula niko like, you know what, sitakula saa, nitakula baadaye. Heri ukuje kama mzazi uniulize uko sawa, kuliko uende ujifanye like nothing is happening. The moment a child sees a parent doesn't care, ako like, kama mom na dad hawakea, what else do I need? Nini nyingine inaniweka kwa hii maisha? And that leads to suicide.
But I've also noticed if there is a person who can hide whatever they're going through, people who are going through depression, these are
they
people
hide
who show their happy faces,
they're ever smiling.
Like, so when you hear that this person has kill themselves, you're like, wow.
But alikuwa sawa. And then I'm like, you ask that person, did you ask that person kama ako sawa? That's why I always say every morning you wake up, at least even if it's one friend, muulize hi, uko sawa? If that person is not okay, talk to that person. It helps. Sometimes it helps, because sometimes utaona mtu unaweza dhani umeuliza hiyo swali and then unajiambia ama ataona I'm too intrusive. I'm like, no way, it helps. Asking someone every day if that person is okay really helps.
One thing about this, the friends, sometimes unamwambia how you are, and then ukienda kumwambia shida zako, she's like, okay, amekusikiza vizuri. Instead of helping you out, anaenda naambia mtu mwingine, combat the situation. Like,
this is why that's another issue. This is why sometimes you will fear to open up to someone. Because unamwambia kitu unapata imetembea everywhere. Kitu mzima.
Ulisikia Eve, ulisikia Brenda, ulisikia Leah. I'm like, come on. I told you in secrecy. And in like, I trusted you in my
I confided in you.
Why would you go tell other people about my issues? I was talking to you because I knew how close we are with you, and you would help me. Mbona saa kidogo nasikia nashinda nikiulizwa, Leah ni ukweli? Leah ni... Was that even necessary?
A true friend should be empathetic to their friends.
Yeah.
That is, nakwambia shida zangu, you put yourself in my shoes, and then you help me out. You have to be there for me, physically, emotionally, like be there as a true friend. Some of us, families zenye tumetoka, we just can't say like they are close.
We can't.
That close. That's why we are here. We are creating new families. This is the family I want to be. I want to be in. So please just let you be my safe space.
Don't judge, especially usijudge mtu. Juu kuna vitu utaambiwa na your close friend, uko like, the moment you the click of judging someone iko hapo, toa kwa akili yako, because the moment you judge that person, utashindwa hadi compare a solution to the problem. So you'd rather listen to that person and then be like, if I was in this situation, what would I have done? Then tell that person, do this, talk to this person. And whenever your friend shares his or her story with you, wacha kwanza kumpea yako. Kwanza msikize yake, like, this time round we are solving your situation currently. So next time
unanielezea, sifai like nikumbuke zangu nikwambie, ata mimi I'm going through this. I'm supposed first, I be there for you, this time round ni wewe. Zangu zinezongoja, like we come back later, but for now it's you matter to me.
So tumeongelea the disorders. Now, how are the coping strategies to the mental health disorders?
kuna watu they've introduced these strategies like unapata some okay they are positive and others they are negative. Unapata mtu akona kitu namsumbua. So they just maybe via meditation. Meditation it is in two major categories. There's the Zen, ile ya Buddhism, and then there's the yoga which has been introduced by the Asians. So unapata huyo mtu all the time ako tu state yake like anatry kusolve issues on themselves. And then there's this person mwenye anaomba like ana introduce ya kuomba. So if kama kuna shida like anaambia tu Mungu wake this and this and this it's going on. And then sometimes wengine unapata now the negative side, maybe they are way addicted to coffee, antidepressants, like those drugs wanazi overuse them ndo at least imtoe kwa situation yenye yako. Even using drugs unapata that person is addicted to different kind of drugs. And then there are those people they prefer isolating themselves from the society. Unapata huyo mtu amelala, yani analala mchana na bado usiku analala na ako tu sawa. That person is going through depression. Ama unapata they've ventured into eating disorders. That person 24/7 is extremely eating. Unapata even their body gain weight ama pia reduce weight. Kuna those people they prefer talking it out to with a close person. Anamwambia what they're going through, maybe their mentor or a friend or even a family. And that's why you're told be a support system to your friends. There are those people who prefer exercising 3 times maybe ana exercise so that im distracts kwa the situation yenye yako. There are those who prefer what is it, maybe swimming. Swimming it does
people swim kutoa tu stress.
Exactly. And then that's it.
Okay, so can we talk about this eating disorder? Because I feel like watu wanaonaka it's not a thing. Sasa there are people who stress eat. Like when I'm so stressed, naona the only thing that can help me nikule just stuff my face. I just stuff my face. So niambie like how can I manage that? Ni prevent myself from like nikifikiria tu sana naona tu nikule.
Those who prefer eating when they are stressed out, wanakwanga wakipotelea the reality. They're just trying to occupy their mind with something. So what you can do with that person, at least take them out for a walk. Let them express what is going on. If possible, kuna hii range, like unamuenclose somewhere with vitu anaweza vunja. Wacha aende avunje. Ama take that person kwa forest. Let them scream at the top. Exactly. Let them scream.
The top of their voices. Atoe wote.
Ama if kama kuna mtu anamsumbua, this unamwekea kiti mbele yake and then you tell them bring that person mbele. Muongeleshe like amekaa hapo. Wacha amwambie yenye yote inamsumbua. And you do actually help that person.
Atikuleta kiti mbele.
Umwekee kiti mbele. Umwekee kiti mbele alafu mwambie huyo mtu mwenye anakusumbua. Muongeleshe kama
I have to pretend that person is there.
Unapatanga.
I'll try that. I have a lot of
you have to
try that one.
You find those people akona like a dialogue. Unasikia ameuliza maswali like mbona ulifanya hivi? Si kwanza ungeniuliza, like they do have answers in their mind. Yetu ni maswali tu ana present and then unasikia this one ungefanya hivi. Ama you write your issues kwa sahani and then go break them.
I know that one.
I've heard of it.
Write all your stresses, all your problems, then go break them. Smash them. All of them. Zote.
Or write on a paper and then you burn them.
And then when you are after you've done that, it's therapeutic.
It
Come
is.
out as a new person, as a fresh new person, and you're like, you know what? I was just stressing for nothing.
So have you tried any? I don't think I have tried.
I've tried for the plate.
I have not tried any.
For the rage.
I just deal with my issues.
I'm addicted.
And
I think I need to try.
Even that one.
But that one I'll try.
Yeah, you
I
should.
just bring an empty chair, then I'm talking. You person, you've been stressing me. I'll try.
And then
that one.
tukone tufikirie umeweza kuchizi.
Hapana, don't do it mbele ya watu.
Kwani unaifanya mbele ya watu?
You know they'll be like, wa. Hiyo yenye liko mabaki. Ishaenda.
Wamechizi, wameenda.
Yeah.
What is this? Don't do it in front
Yeah,
of people.
don't do it.
But for smashing a plate, I've done it.
Hata ya
Multiple
screaming.
times. Even screaming.
Don't do it mbele ya watu. They'll be like,
fullest.
nini mbaya? Look, I just
Scream.
want to let it out. Just give me this child
What
and
most
let
people
it
won't
out.
understand. Hawataelewa.
Hey. Because they think ni kitu mbaya umekuhapenia. I want to bring it out.
You're screaming, I will recommend you go with someone.
Yeah.
Usiende peke yako. You will alert people. Juu unajua kwenye umeenda kama ni forest, obviously they are game rangers.
Yeah.
So they'll be like, why is that girl screaming? So heri uende na mtu akae tu kando. You let out all your angers, all your problems. Uzileta out. Then when if the game ranger or the person who is in charge of that place akuwe alerted, atakuja ambiwa na achane anatoa stress zake. Nimemleta huku atoe tu stress zake. I've tried that. It helps.
I think I'm going to start trying these things
It
because
helps.
also I think I'm going like there's I have a kind of a trauma because of driving. I had a small accident.
Yeah.
I had a small accident and since then
She's
like
never been
nikiona
under-
like
She's
nikiona
never-
mtu wa pikipiki ako mbele yangu I just
gets-
start getting anxious.
Oh my God.
I'm about to panic because so
And I
I'll
remember that day
try.
she called me. She's like, Leah, babe, nimepata accident. I'm like, how serious is it? Then she's like, tumegongana na mtu wa bike. And I'm like,
Yeah.
are you okay? Then she's like, niko sawa, but she was shaking. I'm like,
Sasa hii siwezi shika gari
she's
vizuri.
afraid. She has
I can't.
that trauma of driving again.
So I'll try. Like how can I deal with this trauma?
Face it.
Face it.
Head on.
I tell
Head
her
on.
that
Face
go
it.
back, drive the car again, face it, because you'll
Yeah.
never go behind
I think I will be able, but nikikishaona mtu wa pikipiki hapo mbele because I feel like mi naonanga
Plus, also,
like,
I will blame the person who was riding the bike. What was that person? Why? Mbona,
Just in the middle of
in
the
the middle
road.
of the road.
Who does that?
When I think you were turning a left.
no, I was okay, I was going straight, but there was a junction. There was a car, a lorry, hizi za jeshi ilikuwa inakuja. Then kuna mtu wa pikipiki amesimama tu hapo, ndo anashukisha mtu kwa katikati ya barabara. So I saw like, yo, it's either I get hit or I hit this person.
So you uliona,
but sikumgonga.
Plus
I nearly pressed
ujue
brake.
lori za jeshi hazijuangi pole.
Oh,
And then
Inasonga na
hiyo
wewe.
ingenimaliza. It's nile tank.
Ni tanka. Do you know when she called me, she was shaking. I'm like, Brenda, breathe in and out. She's like,
And then ndo jue Kenyans watakangi kuelewa mtu. So these people like sinimegonga mtu wa pikipiki. The like watu walikuja immediately, oh toka nje, toka. Then wanaanza kunataka kuninyang'anya kifungo ya gari.
Why?
I locked the door,
and the
nikabaki
person who
ndani,
was riding the
nikapigia
bike was
mtu.
the person who was in the wrong side.
Yeah.
Why would you drop a person katikati ya
Yeah,
barabara?
barabara ndo unamshukisha, mnaanza kuexchange nini change ati ndo mnapenda katikati ya
Katikati ya
barabara.
barabara. And she was ndio alikuwa na turn your junction. Sasa hizo kuna tank.
You know what you need to do?
Face it.
Rudi.
Hapo,
Face that
face
plan.
it. I tell her every time.
Yeah.
It's like, babe, nitaingia kwa gari. I'm like, no, you will go back. Face it.
Yeah.
Face it. That's when you
I'll try. I'm even afraid to go. No, unajua sahi license yangu ime expire.
Renew it.
Like I'm even afraid to go and renew it.
If you want, we'll be there with you.
renew it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Watu hapo
Renew,
na wewe.
Right now, renewing
We'll
a
help you.
driving license is not expensive.
Yeah, it's
not
not,
expensive. Renew it. So I don't think we have anything else to say.
Mm.
Okay.
But anyway, so does that mean depression never ends?
Okay. I wouldn't say that.
Uh-huh. Well, sometimes it does, and medication and therapy. It does.
So
But again,
Mhm.
I tried look. You would really, because I've really hacked every aspect of the job, even of how to deal with depression.
Mhm.
There are people who still do that.
Mhm.
They do that today,
Mhm.
they do that tomorrow,
Mhm.
the day after that day,
Mhm.
and you'll realize that the story you will find yourself talking about is depression.
Mhm.
They've gone for therapy.
Mhm.
Like currently, there's a case we're trying to do.
Mhm.
They've gone for therapy.
Mhm.
They've done the They've done everything possible
Mm-hmm.
to really kill the depression. So does that mean amidst all the things that you try, depression at some point will never end?
My question is that person willing?
They have to be very, very.
And what causes like your
Okay.
depression?
Yeah.
Nini ili cause this
Nini
depression?
ilimfanya hiyo afike
Because
huko
it
into
depends.
that
It
extreme
depends with the cause.
depression.
Nowadays, everything is almost even depression.
Yeah, literally everything.
Even work. You can tell
Yeah,
you
yeah,
can
yeah.
tell that person the person has to do work.
Mm-hmm.
It might be school, the person has to do school. So how would you help such a person?
If it's work, tell them to redesign their work status, or maybe atoke kwa hiyo work yenye yako, a transfer maybe.
Yeah, change
A
of
different-
environment.
Yeah, different environment.
Now, putting a different environment again
Mm-hmm.
is really not let me say help. Because
Yeah, I know
as
that
you
transition.
I am doing, I am
So as I was asking the question, you really tell that person to leave a work environment or change their work environment. We're living in a competitive world where you just can't, you decide to change the work environment, it's not your business. You are working under someone. Now, the only option for you is to exit the workplace. Now, again, you exit the workplace, it doesn't help the person because at the end of the day, he now gets back to depression of where will I get the next job? You get?
Yeah.
You now come again, you try to also yourself. You see, life, right now, currently, life is you're looking for everything.
Yeah.
There's a certain meme I saw somewhere inasema unatafuta bibi, unatafuta Mungu, unatafuta kazi, unatafuta masomo.
Yeah.
And you see, amidst all these things, in as much as you want to help this person, there's still that depressive process. And so the question that person would ask themselves is, will this depression end? Amidst me trying all other avenues. I've gone for therapy. I've done, let me say, I've broken glasses, I've shouted, I've done all those things to help me relieve my depression. But at the end of the day, it just kicks in. You can't tell that person kill yourself so that you will relieve yourself from depression. So now, as a counseling psychologist, how will you help that person to, because as you said, you need to talk to a friend. I will also get tired of you coming to tell me it's depression today, it's depression tomorrow. So, you see, if I come with the same issue and every avenue try to help you isn't helping, I will definitely also give up on that. Because again, more than your life, I will have my life to focus on again. You understand? And so the question would be, how will you help such kind of a person to finish this depression? Because we've heard about mental cases recently that are very many, that even the government is looking on to how to finish this, because it's among the young people, and every avenue has been created, but we're still facing the same problem.
Sometimes you find that if only we can change the environment that we are in, to ondokee the normal stresses of our life, it would actually help. And maybe tell the person, change their attitude towards something. If kama you're always negative about the situation, try and be positive. If kama you just can't leave the working area that you are in, be positive. Look at the positive things about your work. Try and affirm in that person. Mwambie, you're brave, you're courageous. Affirm them with positive things about themselves. Let the motivation come from within them.
Plus
Iwe
they have
internal
they have to
motivation,
be
not
willing.
external. Yeah, be willing. We believe that the client has the faith to solve their problems, to help they change their situations. All that we do is tunamuonyesha njia. Tunamwambia, is this one ndo umechagua. Look at all the negative side and the positive side of what they have chosen. Yeah.
So if I am not in the set, but I know the viewers are listening. So if we try to say they change the environment, you have to explain to that person, how do I change the environment? Environment is everything that is within me. I can't say I want to move out of this house. Probably my house is what is giving me stress. I can't say I want to move from here. Let's say it's work. I can move from the work. One, I'll definitely associate with everyone at work. Like, I will meet people. So if you advise me to change my environment, what am I changing in my environment?
The stressor.
So if the stressor is work, how do I change the work?
You can move to another location or maybe transfer.
So
If you're
that's
really
the question.
willing,
Yeah,
you can.
if you're really willing,
Plus,
you
I
get.
think it also goes with the peace of mind.
Exactly. Exactly.
Jo,
You look for, yeah.
huwezi kaa pali unajua every time you'll be stressing about this, especially if it's work.
Yeah.
Your boss is stressing you, your coworkers is stressing you, the work itself is stressing you. Do something, change the environment, or itisha transfer place. Unajua peace of mind yako ndio una value, ndio that your top number one issue there. Usiende pali ati I'm in a new environment, so here I'll have to cope with it na.
Yeah.
Go to end a place unajua your peace of mind is your first priority.
Exactly.
And you are yourself.
And you
You're
yourself,
first,
and plus you have to be willing.
So that's what I really want to get, because you see, it's easy to change an environment.
Yeah.
It's easy to change a work, but now let's face it, reality on the ground. We are facing high rate unemployment, right?
Yeah.
I want to get out of, let me say, this production team and go to another production team. How sure am I if I get out of this production team and, let me say, Citizen gives me a peace of mind that I will get into Citizen TV?
First of
You
all,
might get into, you might not.
That is so you see, at the end of the day, it's a 50-50 chance for this person. You will either get to the place of peace of mind or return that same person back to depression ×2, because now I don't have work, I have bills to pay, I have everyday life, like life is moving on. Okay, because as we're talking about mental health, I want us to help that person. Other than telling that person change the environment, because you encourage that person to change the environment, as a counselor, they will change the environment.
Yeah.
It backfires on them. Who's to blame? Not the person. Now, if the person gets back to depression ×2, I am going to blame the counselor, because other than changing the environment, I want to really know how can I get, because you see, in workplaces or even in everyday life, everyone is under pressure.
Yeah.
Everyone, because we want to make it live. Now, other than that, we've been introduced to new things that we're trying to cope up with, and our minds or brains were fixed to something. You see, this model, let's say we never had IT. Your company comes and tells you, we really need you to get on the IT things because we're changing the company to an IT opportunity. Now, you don't know anything concerning computer, you don't know anything concerning the internet, the social media, and then you're told you have to, for you to remain in your job. You go to the next company, they still tell you the same, because we are living in a technological world where everything is changing. But I want to be helped not to get into depression, because I'm looking at the cases currently. I'm like, this person has been in depression, came out of depression, was very okay. Then at some point, that person calls you and tells you, I'm in depression. You've told that person to change the work environment. Like now, in the case I'm telling you, they have changed the work environment. We've taken them to another job. Even something they love doing, they have gone to the same place, but the same thing is hitting.
The only solution is taking pills.
So that's why I would ask, does that mean, because you listen, you hear to the question, does that mean that if I am to live on pills, it means depression doesn't end?
Yeah, it doesn't. At some point, it
But
doesn't.
it does depend on people.
Yeah, it does depend on people. But the question I would ask is, does it end?
No,
Because people want this thing to end. Even you who sit at
At
there.
some point, it doesn't. It
But
actually
again, at
does.
some point, we're talking about the same mental health, something that we have to accept, one, without blaming anyone, it's still going to be with us. You realize?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, if it's then going to be with us, how do we cope it? Because it's coming every day. You look at the cases on the news, you look at the cases on the internet. Young people are getting into depression at a very high rate unknowingly.
Yeah.
We have no one to blame for. You get even your friends, because I really want to demystify that. Even your friends, I will come and tell you about depression today. I will listen to you. I'll give you a solution, but you come and tell me about it again tomorrow. I give you another avenue the day after tomorrow. I'll also get tired.
But now you see, for the young generation, most of them get into depression because of the peer pressure.
Yeah.
Oh, my friend has a car. Oh, my friend bought a house. He or she has a new job that is paying well. The peer pressure.
So how do you deal with it? Again, you ask yourself the other question. How do you
Live
deal
your
with
life
it?
according to your own terms. Don't let someone else's life be like the guide to your own life.
Yeah.
Don't let ati, because now nimeona ati leo I'm waking up, I find out that Brie has a new car. I'll be like, good for you, I'm happy for you, live your own life.
Yeah.
I always tell people this: clap until it's your time.
Yeah.
Appreciate other people achievements until it is your time. Achenani na peer pressure itaua watoto wetu. But anyway, not everyone will listen to you. People will be like, it's coming from this, it's ending from this here. So peer pressure is what leads to a lot of young generation to fall into depression. That's why I'm saying whatever he's saying, depression at some point, it doesn't end.
Yeah, it
Whether
does.
you like it or not, it's either you're on pills or you're going to therapy.
Yeah.
So either way, unaweza kuta hii mwezi depression imeshuka, mwezi huo mwingine imerudi. It doesn't end. So it depends on you. Do something that gives you peace of mind. That is one. Do something that you love, not kitu umefosiwa kufanya. It's not something that you've been forced to do. That you'll have to wake up from Monday to Friday. Plus there are those people whose works are 9 to 5. Na plus alafu Kenya si kila job ni 9 to 5. Unaweza kuta boss leo ameamka tu na muzaya yako like, you know what, leo tunatoka masaa zenye nataka.
Exactly.
So you have to cope up, be someone who is always ready. As in usikwangi unasema team leo nimeamka, I'm like, I'm not feeling it. Always be ready. Because at the end of the day, you need that money to pay your bills.
Exactly.
At the end of the day, unajulizanga maswali like, well, how will I pay my bills? How will I nitalipa aje nitalipia watoto wangu fees aje? Nitalipa aje insurance zangu? Because how will I pay? Kuna pia kuna deni, how will I repay back my denis? So it depends. Sometimes depression itaisha, sometimes itaisha, but it still depends on that person. Is that person willing? Is that person ready?
Yeah.
Na pia hii like regarding work, I guess it's not wewe peke yako going through this thing. Like unajiuliza, si wewe peke yako. Kuna watu wengi wanatafuta job wapati. Mtu alifanya hadi masters lakini bado hajapata kazi. So you be strong. Jambia nicha ni kuwe strong. Kama huyu mtu anangangana, mbona mimi nisingangane pia? Wacha pia mimi niendelee kungangana. Yeah, so I guess zingine pia it depends on yourself.
You just have to wake up with that positivity. Be like, God, it's another day. Help me.
Yeah.
Or be like, it's another new day. Let me start looking for something new. Because the moment you start at your whole friend group, all of them are earning ni wewe too. It will lead to depression. Like, she's earning, he's earning, she's earning. Mbona basi ni mimi tu nimebaki. That's why I'm saying at the end of the day, appreciate until it's your time. Because when your time reaches, they will also appreciate you back, if they will be there or not.
The best way is look at where you came from,
where
you are, and where you're heading to. That
if there is a change, it helps. Plus mindfulness.
Una set unaenda hivi, tumetoka hapa, we're heading here, na hapa ndo tumefika. At least that will always encourage you. We are heading somewhere, even if it takes time. God uses his time, ways to bless you. Leo ni wewe, kesho ni
ukiona unaendelea tu kungangana, ni time yako tu ijafika, itafika tu. Don't give up.
Na mwingine ni ya kesho, na mwingine ni after a month. You never know. So at the end of the day, be mindfulness. Then don't take too much, as in, don't listen to other voices, listen to your own voice. Especially a day, what Eve has said, look where you came from, look where you are, and look where you're heading. If there's a change, always appreciate it. That's all. My listeners, my beautiful listeners out there, I don't think, does anyone have a question? You have a question,
I've really not heard you talk about how does one realize they're in a state of mental health, because I wouldn't really peg mental health to depression, what are some of the signs and symptoms
Of mental health.
Yeah.
Signs and symptoms.
Let's ask the
The expert.
specialist. We have
That's a question to the guest of today.
Okay. Some of the signs of mental health, let's say mental illness. Some of the signs of this mental illness is seen. Let me use a good example. Somebody who is suffering from bipolar or schizophrenia. You notice that person is delusional. Anaona vitu, hearing sautis, like
Ngoja. Kuwa delulu ni sign and symptom ya mental health. Because she said delusional.
yeah, delusional.
kuna delusional yo na kuna delulu.
Mmesikia huko nje kukuwa delulu si mental health, but she's talking about another type of delusional.
Yeah.
So what is that delusion? Jua hata mimi bana as a viewer, because if you say being delusional, man, basi niko na mental health illness.
Ndio.
Us, because
Like you see, you have to specify what is that
Every
point
day.
of delusional.
Delusions.
Seeing that is hallucination. Delusional is imagining you are somebody else and then una imagine kuna watu wanataka kukuua. You see, like they want to take your life. Would you recognition that kind of a person?
Nope.
Ai,
Nope.
lakini si kama ni kukaa kama someone else and they want to
Is that
kill
not
you.
personality disorder?
See, that is
it's not.
it is not
It's a
being
different
delusional. Because I
Let me
guess
explain.
juu ukisema mi ninaona mtu akitaka naweza kuwa nimeota by the mtu anataka kuniua. It happens.
No.
Ama
That's a dream. That's a
but you
dream.
see we are living in a world where everybody is afraid. Sijui kama leo naweza toka hivi nje leo apite na mimi. You get, I'm just trying to use an example.
Time, like you're always afraid of every little thing. Like ukiingia kwa gari, you're always thinking of the situation. Oh, tutapata accident. Oh, tutafanya nini? Am I always like at the edge of your seat?
Let me
So
explain.
before you explain, so that means Brenda is delusional.
No, she's not.
Cause kama Brenda anaogopa akidrive atagonga mtu.
That is
That's not,
PTSD.
that's PTSD. That's
Yeah,
trauma.
that's trauma.
So unajua hiyo example yenyewe amesema ukiingia kwa gari unaogopa utapata accident.
Yeah,
It
I think
is
I also
similar
have
to
that. I think so.
Hers is trauma. We have
So-
already
Hers is
discussed her
trauma.
part.
So
It's shoulder
it's
already.
due to trauma.
Demystify
Because of
that
her trauma,
delusion.
she needs to face it. She needs
Yeah.
to go back to that same position.
Hawasijali hiyo ilikuwa kwa driver, being a
Are we talking
driver.
about- yeah, true. Delusions. Nika, do you think of yourself like living another life as someone
you're-
else?
As someone else, and you're
Like,
like,
and you believe it totally, like
Yeah,
100%. You
exactly.
believe it.
That's
You are that
delusional.
person.
That's the delusion I'm talking about.
oh, that's
Yeah,
what
who
they say.
you-
Yeah.
Naamini mimi ni I'm a rich person
Exactly.
somewhere.
And you believe
But
it
when
totally.
reality kicks in,
Yeah.
I'm going back to my mental health.
And now there's a difference between delusional and fantasy. So usichanganye the two.
No, now I will
Wow,
again.
okay.
Now you see, you've not really explained delusional because what Leah is trying to say, I may think I'm rich,
Yeah.
and yes, right now I'm not rich, but at the end of the day, my goal is to get rich, according to what I am thinking.
But reality sets in.
But again, reality sets in. I am not rich. You get?
What is that? That's still
Because that's not. You see, if I say I'm delusional,
Delusions
That's
ni-
fantasy.
you
What
live
am I even
hiyo ni
saying?
fantasy. Delusion
Eh.
ni living in that life totally and 100%. You
Like,
believe
I'm
you are that.
very,
How
like,
Rudy, like you're just that. Like
I believe that I'm in that
Yeah.
specific. Okay, so
Okay, let me give you a good example of
ujiambia I'm the president of Kenya na uishi ka ukifikiranga you're the president.
lakini sasa yeah, it happened. Now I will say, and I am behind the cameras, but I will say I'm rich, and I will live like a rich person.
that's
Yeah.
delusion.
Now, if that's delusion, I live like a rich person. Let me speak for myself. I thought in my brain that I live like a rich person, and I have to train my life to live like a rich person. How does a rich person live like? You need to think of investment. You guys, you know one of our lecturers who's sijui kama ni delulu ama, he usually says he is very you see hiyo kuwa delusion, but at the end of the day what I want to try and get, because we may lose our viewers and we may confuse the whole world about what delusion is and end up losing everything. You see? Because we are here to learn, we're here to teach and give an information that can help someone. So I really want to know hiyo delusion, hiyo hapo kwa hiyo delusion, because you see itapostia bana, kuna watu watasema kwa hivyo I am facing mental health. You find 95% of our viewers are all running to therapy sessions. So we will want to get the point of what is being delusional and giving an example that will not contradict some of the people's living and some of the people's ways of life. Yeah, so you can explain them. So you tena.
Haya, let me explain via an example. At least ndo mwelewe. So there's this person, let me not say more. There's this person, ulikuwa unapata kila time anasema kuna watu wanamfuata. Like tumekaa tu hivyo anasema anafuatwa and these people they want to kill that person. So all the time like alikuwa amejihami. Just in case these people wamtokee. The people wamtokee. Atapigana na wao. And yet sisi we can't see these people. Ni yeye anasema these people.
Oh yeah. That's
now when she says it that way,
now I get it.
So yeah, okay, at the back of his or her mind ako like kuna watu wananifuata.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I have to be like on guard every time because the moment those people reach me,
exactly.
I'll have to protect myself.
Yeah.
Now when she says that I understand. Okay.
And now there's hallucination. Anaona vitu.
Oh, she's that one we know hallucination.
Hallucination. Anaona vitu. So you'll be hearing that person explaining, si ndo ile inyoka inatutokea, and yet we ukiangalia you just can't see it. That person is seeing things.
What about fantasy?
Fantasy is vile alikuwa anasema.
I'm rich.
Oh, I'm rich.
And I'll forever be rich.
Exactly.
Naishi yo maisha that, but when reality sets in, I'm like, what is happening?
Yeah.
Then the mental health kicks in.
Fantasy
Disorder.
is like living in a bubble.
You're living in your own
In your
bubble.
own world alone. You're just there. Two worlds.
Hello. Okay. Ask.
But someone who's who has fantasias or someone who has fantasy, it's okay.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah,
Okay, but
at some point it's
Lakini
healthy,
pia
but at some point
kuhallucinate,
it's-
kuna watu wana hallucinate wakitumia kitu hawafai kutumia.
Yeah,
Drugs. That's what
drugs.
she's saying. When we started the show, she said also substance use will lead to hallucination. Unaona mtu anaona vitu zake,
Yeah.
but ukiona kwenye anakuambia ama kenye anakuambia uone, you're like,
Lakini inakaanga funny.
sometimes hallucinating is
It's funny.
funny.
Yeah.
Because why would you tell me there's, for example, niambie kuna mtoto ako pale and then I'm like,
Ako wapi?
mtoto mgani?
Stories za
I will
jaba.
stories za jaba and then at some point utajua.
'Cause
Yeah, like,
mbona zile buildings zinarukaruka?
unaona nini? Si tunaona tu building imesimama. Yo.
Yeah, I think I have really understood, and you've really tried to demystify that aspect because it
Our
is
viewers,
good
we had to argue. We
Yeah.
had to because we don't want to confuse you guys
Yeah.
about the difference between being being delulu and having a fantasy and having hallucinations.
Yeah, we're also learning.
We are also learning.
We
Plus the
understanding.
expert is here. Our beautiful Eve Bobo aka Kamami.
Yeah, tunamtanga kama mimi by the way.
Kamami.
So sidhani kaa niko na swali ingine because if we dive deep
We will see.
it's going to be hot.
Talala hapa.
It's going to be
Talala
hot.
hapa.
But I think you've answered the question. You've demystified.
Yeah. I think we understand better now. We understand more.
But I will ask another question. Thank you. You see, we went direct to disorders. You get? But the first question we'll ask ourselves is, what is mental health?
Mental health is broad.
Yeah,
No, but you see, you see,
What
yes,
is
it's broad.
mental health itself, not what is in.
Yeah,
meaning
it is
mental
what
health.
is. You see, in every subject you get into a class, you'll be taught introduction. Yeah. So what is mental health?
mental health is a broad and important subject and comprising of various aspects governing physical, psychological, emotional, and mental well-being.
So it's a topic.
Yeah.
Because it's someone who has asked the question online, and that is why I would want to ask that question. Like, what is mental health?
It's like the state of asking yourself, like, I'm fine.
I'm fine.
Mentally,
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Because now again you've brought another aspect, right? Of it's a topic.
Yeah.
But being a topic, I need to know what is mental health. You see, that is the question. I think Leah is getting what I'm really trying to drive at.
Yeah.
Is if today in an examination you're brought
What is
or if
mental-
someone asks you as a counselor,
Yeah.
what is mental health? Me as a client, I don't want to know it's a topic, but I want you to define to me what is mental health. For us to have gotten the composition of a mental health word that we can say it's an illness or a disorder. What is the mental health? One, we have the mental, and then we have the health. You bring those two words together, we create mental health. So from the definition of mental and from the definition of health, what is mental health?
From definition of mental and health, mental is the brain, the cognitive structure of one's mindset. And then the health is your well-being. In another word, your well-being. It could be you're mentally unwell and mentally well. I hope I've answered your question.
Okay, I will say if mental health is the psychological state of someone who is functioning at a satisfactory level of emotional and behavioral adjustment. Like lazima huyo mtu behavior zake na emotions zikuwe at par. Because the moment that person starts having different types of behavior, emotions zake change. So they have to be at par in order for that person to adjust well. That's what I would say.
Okay.
To me.
I think she has technically answered the question as it was
To my
asked.
viewers, I have said mental health is a psychological state of someone who is functioning at a satisfactory level of emotional and behavior adjustment. That's that.
Thank you. I rest my case. No more questions. Back to you. Yeah.
Anyone. To my viewers out there, thank you for watching Good Vibes and Conversation. To my special guest and my lovely friend Evelyne, thank you for coming to our show and enlightening us about the mental health topic and talking to us, and so that we can also enlighten our viewers. And to my lovely viewers out there, if you know there's a person who is struggling with mental health disorders or unaona akona hizo signs, please talk to that person. If that person is not ready to open up, you can tell that person to seek medical guidance for further improvement in life. Yeah, that's all. I've been your host, Felecia. Till next time. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.